Oh, this is Mr. Hornsby 83 here with brand new Mr. Hornsby 83 topics. Now, I have my big return video this past Tuesday when I did my Dreamcast for GTA Vice City, if they ever make a movie of it. If y'all want to see who I chose, check it out. Should be underneath this video when it uploads. Now today I'm going to be talking about the rise and fall of WCW. Now I'm not going to be talking about the obvious stuff like, poor management or, guys having contracts they shouldn't have and this and that. I'm going to be talking about some things they passed up on, some superstars they passed up on at a time when they were really hot, and some other things going on too. So why am I wearing an Undertaker shirt for a WCW video? Well, I was gonna wear my Wolfpack Kevin Nash one, but I don't know where it is, so I just put this on. I wanted to give it that old school feel since I'm talking old school wrestling. Anyway, so first of all, let's start in the year where WCW was hot. 96, they didn't get hot till July of 96. NWO pretty much ran things. They were pushing Luger toward a match with Hulk Hogan, which I'll talk about here shortly. Sting was disappeared for a while because, everybody didn't trust him because they thought he turned on WCW and joined NWO. But, anyway, let's go to October. Halloween Havoc 96. Now the big thing was this was the start of the build toward Rowdy Piper and Hulk Hogan. Now one big problem I had with this whole thing is it led to Starrcade. Piper, when he came in, he said, "I'm not with the WCW or the WWF or the NWO or whatnot." He just wanted to express some opinions to Hogan. So he comes out, talks to Hogan. Him and Hogan says we should have the war that didn't settle the score, and etc., etc. Because harping back to their, harping back to their war to settle the score, which never happened because I think it was a double DQ. But anyway, so now we fast forward to Starrcade 96. Okay, first of all, this was the main event match. It was a big match. Why was the WCW title on it? And now I know they were claiming Piper wasn't a part of the WCW at the time, but still, you could have did a really good angle with Piper as WCW champion. But I'll get back to that when first, another thing too was Eric Bischoff, after all the time sitting there, acting like he didn't know who Hall and Nash is and this and that, and then come to find out he's the reason for the NWO. He was pulling the strings of the NWO the whole time. So them jackknifing him at the Great American Bash that year, all the stuff they were doing, it all turned out it was just a master plan by Eric Bischoff. They should have held off on revealing that. I think they could have waited a little bit longer to reveal that. But what can you do? Like I said, it's ancient history. But now to the Piper-Hogan match. Piper beats Hogan. This should have been for the title. Piper should have took the title off Hogan. Could have caused a little bit, because there was even a point early in 97 where there was a little bit of dissension within the NWO, which they wouldn't pull the trigger on that till the following year, which I'll get to that year as well. But, so that could have caused all kinds of dissension with the NWO had, Hogan lost the belt to Piper at Starrcade 96. But they didn't want to do that. It was just a non-title match between Hogan and Piper, and that was the main event. And Hogan was champion. No title on the line or nothing. That's something I didn't like about it. But now to Super Brawl. I believe it was Super Brawl, yeah. Super Brawl 97. Piper versus Hogan for the WCW title. This is where it might have been Spring Stampede that year too, but I think it was Super Brawl. Super Brawl, I think it was like 7. Rowdy Piper, Hulk Hogan for the title. Macho Man fought Hogan at Halloween Havoc. Hadn't been, and then he was on Nitro randomly one day talking about he was blackballed from, WCW and all that. I think it was in December. So, we see Macho Man there with Sting there for a bit. And then Macho Man turns to the NWO with Hogan. Okay. So, I understand adding Macho Man. That was kind of a twist. I was waiting for Hogan to get over the hump on Piper. Title was on the line there. Honestly, I think what they could have did at Starrcade, Piper wins the title from Hogan. Then, Bischoff and them's trying to do whatever to get Piper to sign a contract with WCW. He finally signs, and he says he wants another match with Hogan. He'll even put the title on the line at Super Brawl. And then you could have had Macho Man cost Piper the title, give the title back to Hogan. That's not what happened. So, what purpose did Piper need to come back for Super Brawl if he wasn't there to represent WCW or go for the title? He was just there to show Hogan he's better than him and he's a better icon and blah, 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 blah. So, what else did you have to prove by coming back? I mean, yeah, it would be, I'm pretty sure it was, the idea was, hey, Piper probably thinks, oh, it'd be nice to be the WCW champion, so. But Piper didn't win the title, so that was a big missed opportunity there. You could have did this at Starrcade and followed it up to Super Brawl, and then you could have led into a Hulk Hogan, Lex Luger match, because after Super Brawl, Hogan did not defend the title again until a Nitro before Road Wild, which was ridiculous. And that's another big problem with the span of the NWO thing. Hogan was champion. He didn't defend the title much between 96 and 97 after the NWO stuff. He pretty much just carried the belt out and had a match with Macho Man, defended it at Halloween Havoc, then took on Piper at Starrcade, and then defended it at Sold Out against the Giant, which really wasn't even a freaking match because the NWO ended up jumping him, if I remember, Sold Out 97. But that's a major problem. This guy's your champion and he's not defending the title much. Now, people gripe about the Brock Lesnar thing right now, but look at what was going on with Hogan in 96 and 97 after the NWO stuff started. So anyway, finally the Nitro before the Nitro before Hog Wild or Road Wild, whatever it was called at that point. Lex Luger gets the title and then loses it right back 6 days later. Okay, so you built up Lex Luger from Fall Brawl all the way to the Hog Wild pay-per-view, and he loses the freaking title within 6 days. Now, yeah, they did the thing where it was, one of the NWO members dressed up as Sting and cost Luger the title, blah, blah, blah. That was stupid. You should have had Luger win the title at Hog Wild, then lose it back at the next pay-per-view. Which, actually, I think it was War Games. Yeah, War Games from 96 all the way to Hog Wild. And then you could have had him lose it right back to Hogan at Hog Wild. You could have built up toward the Sting-Hogan match, and still had that. And, but that didn't happen. Instead, Luger wins it on a Nitro randomly, drops the freaking belt at freaking, 6 days later, 5 days later, whatever. It's totally stupid. So then, let's fast forward to the botch of Starrcade 97. Hogan gets the 3 count, wins the title, or retains the title. Bret Hart comes out looking stupid because I guess Nick Patrick was supposed to count fast or whatever to make it look like he had a fast count, which Nick Patrick didn't do because I'm sure Hogan paid him not to. So that whole debacle, and then it led to, finally Super Brawl, Sting won and kept the title, blah, blah, blah. You know how that goes. So, but then, I believe the next pay-per-view, Spring Stampede, we were starting to get that friction with the NWO, like I mentioned, 97 it kind of started. And then into 98 is when they really pulled the trigger on it. We had two different NWO brands, which started with Kevin Nash and, Macho Man rebelling against, Hogan and that. Macho Man wins the title. Hogan attacks Macho Man, and, the friction was going on. Then they started doing the Wolfpack, NWO, Hollywood, blah, 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 and it was like... But during this whole time, you were building up Diamond Dallas Page and Bill Goldberg, which I'll get into those two here in a sec. So anyway, Diamond Dallas Page really started getting hot in 97 with his feud with Macho Man, which lasted half the year. And that Diamond Dallas Page and Macho Man main evented more freaking pay-per-views than Hulk Hogan defending the title did in 97. But anyway, I just think it was, pathetic. But anyway, so then Macho Man loses the belt back to Hogan, and then the feud's still going on. People jumping from NWO Black and White to join Wolfpack. Then you had Sting and Luger join the Wolfpack. Giant rejoined the NWO. The Hogan one. They tried to get Diamond Dallas Page, but Diamond Dallas Page stayed independent as a WCW guy. And pretty much between, I don't even think Hogan defended the title again until the week before Bash at the Beach. That's when he defended it. He lost it to Bill Goldberg. Now, the way they were building things up, I thought, well, since Page had this hot feud and he's really hot, people want to see him champion. I thought 98 would be the year to put the title on Diamond Dallas Page, but instead they went with Goldberg as well. I still think they could have held off on Goldberg till 99 to be champion. I mean, Page was very popular. People wanted to see Page be the champion. But I understand Goldberg was getting really popular. He had that winning streak going on. It was only a matter of time before they threw him after Hogan and them to win the title. But then again, you give away Hulk Hogan, Bill Goldberg on a Nitro. You do not wait till Bash at the Beach, or you do not wait till War Games the next month. Or, no, Hog Wild the next month. You could have had Goldberg win the title at Hog Wild that next month. But Goldberg got the title. Hogan and Page teamed up with Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman, which I just watched that pay-per-view earlier, Bash at the Beach 98. So that's still pretty fresh in my mind. But, yeah, it was just like, and that's when pretty much Goldberg did well as champion. Page and Goldberg at Halloween Havoc, but then we had Hogan go on a feud with Warrior, and Warrior was only brought in so Hogan could get his win back against Warrior. Oh my God. Anyway, that's why I said I was a Hulk Hogan fan as a wrestler, but as a person, and he's a freaking egomaniac and an idiot, If I met Hulk Hogan personally, I probably wouldn't like him. But anyway, so after all that, well, apparently the word was that Hogan was supposed to beat Goldberg to get the title back, but instead of having Page beat Goldberg at Halloween Havoc 98, nope, they wait till 2 months later at Starrcade for Nash to beat him. Alright, now, I understand what they were going for with this, because they wanted Nash and the Wolfpack to get one up over NWO Hollywood, but Hogan was allegedly retired at the time Nash won the belt. Also, Nash was the booker at the time. So, Wolfpack finally got to get the big belt, because it seemed like NWO Black and White was just owning Wolfpack. It's like Wolfpack didn't have nothing to show for their rebellion. Because Savage got the belt, but guess what? Hogan got it right back the next night. Savage got another shot. Hogan retained. Oh yeah, I forgot about that match, yeah. But I mean, in 98, WCW was still kind of competitive with WWE. I think it's 99 January 99 is when WCW couldn't compete with WWE anymore, because WCW was still keeping up with it. People still were wanting to watch WCW in 98 with Paige and, you know, all the big celebrities they brung in, like Carla Malone and, oh, for Christ's sakes, Jay Leno. And all the, you know, all the good stuff they were doing up until Starrcade. And then we went into 99. Okay, let's get to 99 and talk about, then I'll jump to 2001 because I did not watch it all in 2000 until after Booker T won the belt. Yeah, then I started watching a little bit more, but it was just too hard to watch by then. But anyway, then we get to 99. Raw's big show, Mankind's winning the title from The Rock, getting his first ever run ever. Mick Foley getting his first ever world championship ever. And then you have Hogan and Nash. That would have been a big money match as well. That would have definitely competed with Rock and Mankind, because all the Wolfpack stuff that was going on in that, which they really squandered the opportunity to really give that feud a good feud. But, you know, I'll talk about that in a minute. So, Tony Schiavone pretty much implemented this when he said, you know, when he announced what was going to happen on Raw about, oh, Mick Foley, he once worked here in WCW, he's going to win their world championship. And then he sarcastically said, yeah, that'll put a lot of butts in this seat. Guess what? Right after he said that, they flipped over to Raw. And what we got with their main event compared to what we got with Raw's main event, that really tipped the scales in Raw's favor, because, boom, because right after that, what happened? I'll also talk about Bret Hart in a minute, too, and how they squandered him. But, oh my God, people consider it a finger poke of doom. Now, if what Nash said is it was just a way to have Goldberg run through the NWO, that would have been a smart move. But people didn't see it that way. People did not like the idea of that. Goldberg had already kind of ran through Hogan's NWO anyway. He had to ran through the... He even beat a couple Wolfpack guys. I think he beat Luger and he beat Sting. He beat Conan. So, yeah. Well, how would that have worked? Because the only one he hadn't beat was you. And he would have eventually beat you to get to Hogan again. But, anyway. I digress. But, let me talk, before I jump to 2001... Or I'll jump to, you know, Booker T won the title. I'll talk about a few things, 2000. Before I jump to that, the Bret Hart situation. He came in 97 and they underutilized him. And here's what Bischoff's plan was for Bret Hart when he signed him. You're coming off the Montreal Screwjob. Your big plan for Bret Hart is to be your main Thunder guy. Really? Bret Hart is your Thunder guy. For... You know, not many people watched Thunder. Everybody tuned into Nitro, not freaking Thunder. Thunder sucked every freaking... Thunder kind of became WCW Saturday Night after a while. But you freaking put... You were like, oh, he's going to be my guy in Thunder. And then you have him join the NWO. Hogan's NWO. I mean, I don't know. That was a big squat. You could have... made something out of Montreal Screwjob. He could have came in. He could have beat Hogan for the title. And lost it to Goldberg or something. Nope. Bischoff was, I don't know. I guess his head was so big. He's like, oh, no, anything we do won't bother. Because WCW is still going to be good. But anyway. I don't know. Alright, so it's 2000. We started out the year. Bret Hart was champion. But that concussion caused him to have to retire early. Then Benoit won the title, but he was stripped because he ended up signing with WWE. Sid had the title. He had an alright run. Then we finally got the Diamond Dallas Page title win. It was, I think, Spring Stampede 99. He had to cheat to win it. But, you know, I mean... And they did nothing with Page, because not too long after that, he loses the belt to Nash. Then he would go on to lose the title again to Jeff Jarrett. And He had 3 title reigns. I forgot who he lost the other one to. I don't know. It was just ridiculous. By this point, you know, WCW was just like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that was 99. My bad, not 2000. 99 is when Paige finally won the title. Which was bad. That's when they started declining. 2000, like I said, Bret Hart, Sid, and all of them had the belt. Blah, blah, blah. Then they finally give the belt to young guys like Booker T and Scott Steiner and that, and they would hold the title up till 2001. Now, to 2001, I think they could have got themselves right back on the right track. Their wrestling, yeah, there was a lot of botches in some of their matches in there, but they were starting to kind of create new stars in that, and I think they could have been, you know, what, you know, TNA was when it first came out. It was never going to compete with WWE again after 99. But they could have still been in business. They could have still, you know, probably been, you know, like if you don't want to watch Raw and you just want to watch something, some other wrestling, you could watch Nitro. So, I think they could have, you know, and honestly, from what I heard, if WCW would have been, if Eric Bischoff would have been able to buy WCW and get the investors to back him and all that, he was planning on changing things. He was going to learn from the mistakes he made throughout the years. I'm almost finished. He was going to learn from the mistakes he made. He was going to make WCW a good brand again. They probably went back to what they were before '96, but at least they would have still been in business, and you know, people would have still been interested in the product. So I don't know. Scott Steiner, they really built him up as a monster heel. I think that was a really good thing for him. Booker T was their ultimate babyface, but I think Goldberg was going to beat Steiner for a belt. But when WWE bought WCW in 2001, they said, nah. They said, let's just throw the belt on Booker, let him be the champion, because Booker and Diamond Dallas Page both agreed to, you know, already be a part of WWE once, you know, WWE bought WCW. And, you know, pretty much that March, I think it was March 28th, that was the day wrestling died. Because, yeah, WWE was still good in 2002, 2003, 2004. But after 2002, 2003, 2004, it started sucking really bad. I mean, you still had great acts like Batista and Edge and all that. Edge won the belt, you know, Undertaker got another title run, But, I don't know. So, it was sad to see what happened to WCW. But, you know, when you squander opportunity after opportunity, starting with Starrcade 96, that could have been for the title. You could have built up Piper not signing on a contract with WCW. Then finally get him to sign, and then he gets screwed out of the belt by Macho Man. That would have been better than what they did. Goldberg and Page should have had Page should have had the title sooner than what he got it. He did get it in '99. Speaking of who should have had the title sooner, Benoit, Bret Hart should have had the freaking title sooner. With the way they were building Benoit up at that time frame, Benoit and Bret Hart should have had that title sooner than what they did, and it had to be the day before, you know, Benoit was leaving to go to WWF when he finally got the title. But waste of time on guys that you didn't need to. A Warrior coming back might have been nice at first, but then you saw how stupid everything went with all that, and then he ended up losing to Hogan. Page not beating Goldberg for the title was just ridiculous, but that's what happens when you got a big ego like Eric Bischoff had when WCW was still pretty big. But anyway, that'll do it for this one. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more. Follow me on Facebook fan page, Mr. Hornby83 Topics. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Hornby83. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night for Facebook Live. Peace out.